Welcome back to what is already the final game of the evening here.
It's been a fast day.
It's been a really fast day, you know. I come in, I'm expecting to spend my entire evening, but instead we get these quick 25-minute games.
But we are not over yet.
Not yet.
Phelan up against Diabolus. So Diabolus got knocked off the tower. I mean, technically they're not playing for anything apart from, you know, you do get some prize money from winning out in week 7.
Honor.
Honor as well. That's a big thing. Is you want to come in strong playoffs. If they lose against Phelan, it's really going to raise some questions. But Phelan, crucially, if they win this, they will tie with Enclave in 5th place.
That's
and
big.
They have not yet played against each other. So there's no head-to-head. So they would have to play a tiebreaker, which is pretty hype. So
everything on the line, you know, for because that 5th place, as we said previously, but you might have missed it, brings a bye for Forge of Champions.
Yeah, so I mean, you want to take it if you can, but guess we'll have to see. I did also find out in the break that Bulldogs lose the head-to-head against Barrage, so they need to win tomorrow if they want to get out of relegations.
With how good they've been looking thus far.
They could. They
definitely
absolutely could. So, but we will be talking about this matchup, and I think Diabolus have looked strong, but had a bit of a shaky performance today. But it was XL who were looking very good.
Yeah, I think that, you know, it isn't really against a team that is as strong as XL, because I feel like the pressure kind of got to them. Not the pressure of being in that match, but just the pressure that XL was able to output.
The pressure of being at the top of the tower, they just got sick of it at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe they were bored, they wanted to play some games the other day. No, I think they did give it their all, but XL came out victorious. But Phelan, definitely a weaker team.
Yeah.
But they do have their full roster back. They were running with a sub last week, so they have Aragon back in the top lane. So I think the chances are definitely better.
Is it going to be enough? That is the big question here. And I think Vladimir just completely, like, we were already kind of baffled by the silos that made it through. But I think Vladimir also just completely was negated in that entire game.
Yeah, I mean, Vladimir, it's such a strong pick if you're willing to play it. And now they know that Diabolus are willing to play it in both the top and mid lane. We do have the wrong overlay. Sorry about that, guys.
There we go.
Yeah, Silas getting banned away. But Phelan targeting those power picks. And on the other side, Diabolus taking away that Vel'Koz and that Zoe, which are picks that ADM very much likes to play. And hopefully they'll notice that the... yeah,
that's all right. We can work around it. We're flexible.
They are incorrect if you didn't notice. It is Diabolus here and Phelan on that side. So...
and fortunately, the teams are not confused. You know, they know what they're doing. And there we go. As the Jax gets taken away there from Kerberos.
So this is something that Phelan have done before. Is they ban the Jax and they first pick Yorick. So it'll be interesting to see if Diabolus call them out on that. They could ban the Yorick here, or they could have something prepared for it. I guess we'll have to see.
There's always a risk to take, right? Because the Yorick is, of course, one of those picks. I think he has been banned in 100% of the matches today, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you might be right.
And there we go, yeah.
Maintaining that rate, so it will get taken off. Phelan, I think banning the Jax very much sort of puts you in the position where, you know, you're very
signaling
you're telegraphing what you're going to do. And they take the Braum, which has been a very contested pick, and the other high-profile support has been this Galio. And when Jarvan's open, they could just take the Jarvan Galio right now and have a really strong combo. But focus on Lucian. I think that's a better pick. You know they're not going to take Galio.
Because they already have one. You know, they might flex, but are you going to take that risk?
I think it's a bad decision to take Galio just as a denial. So they take the Lucian, they take the Jarvan. It denies the Lucian Braum lane, and it gives a really strong pick to Yusuf, who's been popping off so far. So now over to Phelan. I expect they will take an AD carry in this rotation because you want to have a good lane against the Lucian. Preferably something that's mobile so you don't get trapped in the pit. And Vayne definitely fits the bill for that. Not actually the most awful lane matchup in a Lucian because you can dodge away from his piercing light with the tumble. Then it comes down to what they're going to pick third. They could prioritize a pretty aggressive jungler for soft. You know, we've seen Rek'Sai have a lot of success. Or they could focus on another lane.
We'll also not mind the Rek'Sai pickup because we've seen Monk is doing incredibly well on that. But it has been banned earlier today and now also getting picked up there for what I assume is going to be Aragon. Although I have seen jungle Aatrox.
It is possible. I think it's worse now with the changes. But that means Diabolus are in a position where they can counter pick. There are options. Fiora's seen as sort of textbook counter to the Aatrox, so that would be sort of the standard, I want to outscale and win. There is other options, but they're actually going for the Soraka for Hado. So it gets hovered sometimes by him, but this is pretty out there. And I'm going to have to see how it plays off because you could be very vulnerable if you're getting if you get slows on you from the Braum.
If there's one concussive stack, concussive blow stack,
if you play it well, it's so frustrating to deal with.
And like you say, the late game versus a Soraka is just every single time where you feel like you might have a play, she just, you know, comes in running very, very, very fast, or she just uses it ultimately like, well, guess we don't get a play going there.
So they're picking for the lane pressure, punishing, because Phelan, yes, the Vayne is okay in Lucian, but you picked a short-range AD carry and a melee support, and you know, Diabolus are taking the opportunity where they have a lane bully in the AD carry role, and they're picking a support who's going to be able to punish as well. Soraka has a surprising amount of damage. Everyone thinks of her just as a heal bot, but you can max other things. You can max the E, and it's just so great for poke, and it's unavoidable.
And the silence is really annoying as well. And like you say, the poke damage coming out from that Soraka. Aurelian's also, of course, ADM plays some unorthodox picks.
Vel'Koz, Aurelion Sol are ADM's pocket picks, which is why they're getting banned away. And then we see the Lee Sin taking off soft, and then Lissandra, which is fairly common, you know, to negate that dive, but then crucially that Fiora, as you said, a great textbook counter, particularly in Korea, against the Aatrox. So the question is going to be, what will Kerberos take in the top lane? I expect they're going to pick it now, but actually they proved me wrong. Ooh. They're going to go for a safe pick for Krogs in the mid if they do the locker pick in here, but still they're hovering, not confirmed yet. And it looks like, yeah, they'd rather blind mid and see exactly where the Aatrox is going and exactly how the comp's going to go. So they put a lot of priority on the Kerberos basket, and that says two things to me. One, they trust in him having a counter pick, even though he might already have had one against that Aatrox, but also they trust that Krogson, there's no matchup he's going to struggle too hard into.
And I feel like the Orianna even more so, but the Syndra is also an example of a pick, as we see the Swain getting picked up here. A pick that just does well generally if you can make, or if you cannot get punished for immobility, because besides that, you know, she's relatively safe in lane. You can hit the Scatter the Weak. You also have some pressure, as we see only the jungler still needs to be taken. The Swain can still get flaxed, I think. You know, you can still go for either Aatrox or Swain in either lane, although it's probably going to be the Aatrox in the top lane and the Swain in the mid lane, and the Kha'Zix gets picked up here as well for Phelan Gaming.
Yeah, so I mean, there's going to be pretty effective. You go invisible, get on top of the Soraka, good to execute a route. And I think the Swain works well into the Syndra because it's very hard to burst the Swain. He's so bulky, especially with his ult, so I think Krogson's going to have limited kill pressure there, but now it comes down to, they've left this pick till last. What are they going to do with it? Remember, the Jarvan can still go top, so they can take that Rek'Sai. Remember, Monk had an MVP performance last week, so put a lot of pressure on this, and he's going to have so much early advantage over the Kha'Zix, because if you find him, if you knock him up, you can absolutely punish him.
And I'm loving the flexibility here from Diabolus, who just pick up that top laner in round one, and you say, you know, we can still flex him to the jungle, but why not? Jarvan top, still quite strong. I'm wondering what we're going to see in terms of build path. I've been a huge fan of like the redemption, you know, that you pick up at one point in time. That's something that Wunder did in LEC. But in general, how do you see this game going? Because the Soraka might be threatened.
I think Diabolus have made a lot of picks that you have to get going with early. You know, Jarvan and the Rek'Sai, you have to get going on them early, otherwise they'll just be useless. Lucian, Syndra, they're not exactly scaling champions at very short range. Whereas you're dealing with the likes of a Vayne, a Swain, I feel like you have to get that early advantage for Diabolus, which they have been good at, but you have to run away with the game, because if Phelan are given time to sort of bunker down and wait for items, they will come back strong.
Yeah, as you say, I think that short range is also something that just makes it so much harder to really get stuff going in that mid game if you're not really... Because what we saw previously is that it doesn't really matter if you're short range, you know, the double assassin comp that we saw earlier. If you can just run over the enemy...
But the problem is like, you don't want to get in range of a Swain or a Vayne.
Exactly, as we see Phelan Gaming it, Aragon on the top lane, Soft in the jungle, ADM in the mid lane, and Achu and Snuggly as AD carry and support. And on the side of Diabolus, Kerberos in the top lane, Monkeys in the jungle, Kroxon in the mid lane, and Yusa and Hado as AD carry and support. Previously, Diabolus not able to pick up the win. Can they turn it around there? Or is Phelan going to be able to make their way up on the tower for what might be their final game otherwise here? And we're going to be going into our last game of the first day of the final week here at UKLC.
Absolutely. So just leading straight into playoffs. But we still have tomorrow to contend, and still the rest of the weekend. We've seen Invade come off and feel on the top side. Kerberos is aware, should be able to back off.
And of course, the level 1 from that Braum, incredibly strong, but they don't find an easy target. And they say, well, in that scenario, we're just going to back off. We see that Monkeys is also spotting it here, but with the awareness that they're there, they should be just fine. Croxon gets a little bit close, but he knows his limits. He's not afraid. Yeah, you know, get a little bit of damage in. That's the moral victory that you need.
Absolutely. And I mean, crucially, it does now mean that ADM just had to recall because he felt like he didn't want to go and lane any HP down, and that meant Yusa and Hado able to get wards down in this red side jungle. Got to be a bit careful though. Sraka, definitely not the most confident level 1.
Especially against the Braum. Don't think that's going to end very well for you. But already a lot of poke damage going down there on a Chew.
I mean, that's the advantage of having the vision, is because they have that ward in the brush. Hado just feels completely in control. And the thing is now, if a Chew and Snuggly try and walk through the tri-brush, they'll take even more pokes. So I feel like they have to go the long way around, which might mean they even fall behind more. Because if you look, Yusa is actually freezing the wave. So he grabs aggro off it, clumps it together, and now it's going to push towards Diabolus. So it's getting close. I think they got in range of that minion. I'm not certain though, but it was close to missing a minion. But now against double ranged, and the lane is shoving towards Diabolus, this is not a good position to be in, because already a Chew taking a lot of damage and being zoned out.
And it's going to make it very hard for them to come back as well, unless we see some jungle attention. But Soph, he's not having any of it. He's just moving towards his topside jungle as he wants to make sure that he's able to pick up some objectives. The Ghost Burrow does spot him there, so they're going to be fully aware as well as Diabolus of where the jungler from Phelan is hiding about.
Absolutely. Is level 2 able to pick up that towel fairly easily? I really want to see that bot lane because it's getting quite exciting, but level 2 just hit by Yusa and Hado. We do see Monkeys heading over to that bot side Scuttle Crab. Pressure is still there. I mean, that's the advantage of having the big range and poke from Sraka, and Achu has to respect it so much. Did actually miss CS, I believe might have been on that minion on the first wave, and so had to wait a bit longer before hitting level 2.
So the question is, can Phelan, as you put it beautifully, hunker down enough to get into the position where it's going to be really hard for him to engage on the Swain, on the Vayne, loving the rhyme that we could go in there as well, and manage their way through as Monkeys is standing on a ward here.
I mean, bot lane hasn't been a good start. If you look at the CS differences,
quite big.
That's not a good start. Mid's not going too great either, and Monkeys has been found out, but he's fairly confident just to back away, and this is devoting more time away from your lane.
And yes, that wave is going to crash in. I thought for a second that it were going to rotate Croxon down bot as well. Achu is really low, and we see the engagement coming through there. Monkeys does not find the knock-up though, and the flash does have to be used to avoid that unburrow.
Yeah, I
mean, early advantage.
Yeah, traditionally you would think that you should just stay in a tower, but Achu was really scared of getting knocked up and then silenced by Hado. It would not be a fun situation to be in, so it does burn the flash, gets away. But still, so much pressure being applied on this Phelan bot lane. They are not having a fun time so far.
None whatsoever. And even though that wave was crashing into the turret, what we saw that was Monkeys was just able to buy time, you know, to draw attention away from Achu. Then missed even more means the first plate already gone down. And Diabolus, right from the get-go, just through clever wave manipulation and some nice early vision and an invade that didn't really work out for Phelan, building up quite a lead.
And they've done it again. Used to control the wave really effectively. He doesn't just instantly shove it into tower. He actually caught it in a way where it pushes against him, and now he's recalling in a really favorable position. So, I mean, top lane's gone fine for Phelan. Aragon's trading pretty well. He doesn't have mana, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But mid lane and bot lane are not going too well for the side of for Phelan. Big CS leads in both of those.
Monkeys is playing so aggressive as well. I feel like we're almost dealing with some...
I mean, you can when you have those two bot side winning lanes, and that means you can keep going aggressive and look towards bot. Syndra isn't level 6, so doesn't have that ult, but they're willing to make moves down the bot side. And
this is also, even if Croxon doesn't actually move down, just the threat of him and Monkeys moving towards that bot side jungle, moving towards that turret, puts even more pressure on Achu and Snuggly, who are just having the worst of times here, stuck underneath that turret against the constant poke coming through here from Hado and Yusa. And last time we saw Diabolus play, they weren't able to put up the pressure. Here, basically from minute 1, they're just continuously putting Phelan on the back foot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just in both mid and bot, it just feels like there's a lot of pressure applied. You see Soft backing out from the jungle.
I steal that. Doesn't get the big chicken though.
He got
that's the back was. He got a couple.
He got the chicken nuggets.
Would you rather go for the chicken piece or the chicken nuggets?
I'm a big fan of chicken nuggets. I do love chicken nuggets.
So you'd be happy with this?
Yeah, I'd be more than happy.
As Monkeys gets spotted there, but he doesn't really care. We see Croxon going for the reset or not. Does get there spotted as well. Blue buff now available for him. Going to make that harassment a little bit easier, but as you said, it's just so hard to get through ADM. The teleport helping even further with that as the catalyst is just picked up.
Yeah, but the crucial thing is the CS advantage. So although he hasn't been able to find more pressure onto the Swain, the CS lead has come in, and it's mean that Diabolus are 1,000 gold ahead with no kills on the table.
And if you look at the CS advantages, it's not crazy either. Look at that. Kerberos able to get 10 CS ahead, 20 in the mid lane, and almost 20 in the bot lane as well. And Soph is really the only one who's been able to match Monkeys' aggressive counter jungling by some counter jungling of his own. So he's able to stay relatively / slightly ahead in this scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the rest of his team is having a really rough go. And this, of course, the Kazakhs early on, pre-6, before you get that evolve, before you get the stealth and the ultimate available, there's just not that much that you can really go for. Unless the lane is really overextended, and that just hasn't been the case.
Absolutely. Haddo's playing so aggressive here, and it just feels like you have vision control on your side of the map. Soph is coming down. I think you look for him here, potentially, but instead he's going to head towards the Krugs for now.
ADM's positioned really defensively here as well. So Kerberos has not yet finished a team up, but he's looking towards it. And I was wondering, because I asked you previously about your, your preference in terms of chicken, but what sauce do you get them with? Because that's you know.
With chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
I'm a tomato ketchup guy. I don't think you can go wrong with it.
Okay. I can respect that.
Yeah. You know what? I went to the Netherlands, and I went to a McDonald's there, and they had like farmers chips. Oh yeah,
the wedges.
Yeah.
Oh, they're really good.
They're so good.
Big recommendation.
Like, why don't we have that in England? In fact, there's actually in Bristol, where I live, well, where I'm at uni, for anyone who's wondering, they have a Dutch chip shop.
As we have a nice split screen going on there. Kerberos and Aragon taking on the 1v1 in the top lane. It looks like first blood is about to fall. Monkeys gets taken real low. ADM goes to the flash, tries to take him down. And there is the first blood coming through on Monkeys. But immediately a return kill as Aragon and Kerberos, it's so close. But in the end, the flag and drag combined with the cataclysm damage is enough. And it is a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Diabolus.
Yeah, crucially, Aragon looked favor there, but Kerberos managed to have such a great flash and kited out the ultimate of Aragon, and then is able to turn it around. So really well played when things did not look good for him at the start. And then they managed to punish Monkeys, but Croxon presses R, and that's enough to secure the kill onto the Kazakhs, who still very squishy.
And Yusa already putting out so much pressure on Achu and Snoggy. We keep coming back to this, and that's only going to get worse with a kill getting picked up. Now a CS advantage of 30 here in the bot lane, and the pressure that Diabolus is able to put out is simply incredible, and Phelan having a rough time dealing with it. We see some moves towards the mid lane where Aragon is able to get the early roam, but they don't actually find anyone as of yet, and that means that this lead for Diabolus, we talked about before, they need to get that lead. It's already started to develop.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're going in the right direction for this game, but they need to keep the momentum up, and it's going to see how they transition in the mid game. But now, Yusa with the red buff, going to start chunking on this tower, should get another plate.
And it's not like Snuggly and Achu are feeling healthy and comfortable. Achu's still level 5 here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just lane dominance. It's Yusa and Haddo have established their lane kingdom, and their subjects, Achu and Snuggly, are just trying to survive.
You know, they're trying to make the best of a terrible situation. Just find food, forage.
Yep, but they're not even being given any windows. And Yusa, Culling coming up pretty soon, so that'd be a good opportunity to just put even more damage into them. And the thing is, if they recall, I think they just lose the tower.
Yeah, no, definitely. With the pressure, then the constant shoving, already down to 2 plates, if I remember correctly. But it looks like eventually they're forced to back off there, as we see. They just can't sustain themselves long enough anymore. Also means that the Ocean Drake is on the menu here. Still a single plate left, and then it's the turret that is going to fall if they're not careful, as the Cloud Dragon gets started up by Croxon and Monkeys, and Diabolus once again put out the pressure. We see that Snuggly did actually stay in lane here, even though Achu backed.
And crucially, Monkeys went over the Cloud Dragon instead, so they are able to keep the tower up, but still not in a great position. And now look at the item difference between the carries. Yusa backs and buys Blazer and King. You're up against a Cutlass from Achu.
And That is just absolutely devastating to face, because you're still at the point in the game where Achu is going to have a rougher time against Illusion regardless, and then a Blade of the Ruin King is such a big power spike here that I wouldn't want to be Achu here if you're... I mean, I haven't wanted to be Achu for like the entirety of this game.
Yeah.
Because this has been going on since minute 1.
Absolutely, so not a great situation to be in, but it is a Vayne. And
there's always the late game with Vayne.
There's always a late game. But for now, Diabolus definitely in control. Still haven't taken a tower, and yet 2k gold up, and they are no doubt going to be looking to make a move towards that. Crucially, though, they take the Dragon, and they send their bot lane back bot instead of going towards the Rift Herald. And this says to me that they want to keep punishing that 2v2 matchup. They're confident that they can control the top side of the map without their bot lane, but they want to keep punishing Achu and Snuggly. And actually, Achu and Snuggly are moving up to contest this Herald. This means they're sacrificing the tower bot, but they might be able to win a fight here. And
Kerberos gets taken low as Sov has found him, but Monkeys is there for the backup. Snuggly, with the bot lane suddenly showing up, I think that the others, well, we can't really contest this anymore. Are they going to go for it regardless? Hado is now also there. We see that Aragon is making his way downtown, walking fast towards the rest of the team in the river. The Scuttlecrab is getting picked up. Teleport comes in here from Yusa. This Rift Herald is getting low, but Munches is there for the steal. Is he going to be able to get a smite off? I'm not sure, but with Aragon getting taken down there right from the get-go, it's not looking good. He will be able to get out thanks to the Whirlbender. Gets the dash eventually, but the calling from Yusa is going to be enough, and there goes Aragon taken down. And I guess the steal wasn't successful, but it doesn't really matter if you can't pick it up.
Soft secured the Rift Herald, but it will only function as a denial, and then Aragon goes down in the back end. Just good moves from Yusa to be confident enough to use the TP there. Did get on the plating down the bot lane tower, but nothing more. But now look at the CS difference. Bot and able to pick up 2 kills so far on that Lucian. Diabolus is in a great position.
He's just going to get started on the top turret. There's still plates available, which is crazy because bot lane turret is already down to 1 plate, and Kerberos on his own is probably not going to be able to push through Achu and Snuggly, but this top lane turret, even more plating gold is going to get picked up here for Diabolus. Diabolus is getting so incredibly rich here.
Money in the bank.
So much money. We had a bank plank earlier today, but I don't think it's comparable to what we're seeing here, because Diabolus, with the constant pressure that they're able to put out now, at 13 minutes, it's almost a 4k gold lead here, and I would be crazy if they don't get pick up the first turret of the game right here. 14 minutes as well.
Yeah, so, I mean, you get all the plating as well. They get a ton of gold. We do see Kerberos getting pressured on the bot side.
Takes a lot of damage there. Has the flash available. The concussive blows does hit him in the end, but with that flash, he will be more than fine. And might even be able to turn around as Croxon makes his way. Scattered the Weak is available. ADM is also on the follow-up. And this was a rather deep turret dive. In the end, Kerberos not able to find anything. Doesn't have the Cataclysm available as well. And there's a lot of upfront burst damage that he's missing. But Achu, 80 CS at almost 14 minutes, and just Diabolus really showing the dominance here.
Absolutely. They go from strength to strength. They're at this mid-game point where this Syndra is so strong. You hit level 9, your Q is maxed, you get that extra damage on it. You really have to be careful around this Syndra because her burst potential is huge, and that's ignoring the fact that you have this Lucian with so much strength, and then a Mikhail's Soraka. So even if you land some CC from Phelan, you get those concussive blows stacked up, it's just going to get negated.
And it's going to make it so hard for you as well to get those bounties that you want to get. Croxon, though, a little bit low stuff, trying to find something, but he's been looking for the entire game, and thus far it's been only that play on bot lane where he was actually able to pick something up on the Kazakhs. And we're starting to reach the point in the game where you do want the Kazakhs to start finding some kills.
Yeah, I mean, especially mid lane is so difficult because right now you're safe because Croxon doesn't have mana. But he basically just has to press R and ignite, and you're probably dead. But they're collapsing on the bot lane.
Teleport comes through from Kerberos as Yusa is able to stay alive for a very long time. They're not going for Hado, and that means that with the Mikhails, Yusa is just fine. Aragon goes for the engage on top of him. We see Kerberos off on his own trying to dual do people. That's not going to work out well in the end. He does get taken down, but Yusa still alive. ADM now trying to make an end to that as he's doing a lot of damage. But look at how beefy that Swain is as we see Monkeys maybe going to go for a play, but in the end, it is a favorable trade. If Hado gets taken down here as well, I can't imagine he's going to get out with so little health. Aragon is trying to look for a play, but Monkeys and Hado make it out alive. Or not. There is the tag. Is it going to be enough? It doesn't look like it. And in the end, Phelan able to find themselves a win here.
Yeah, they do come out ahead. It's very close, but Phelan find a lot of tempo there. And crucially, with scaling champions, it's a great position to be in. They will pick up that Mountain Drake, and I think that was just an overcommit from Diabolus. They felt so confident with how the early game went. They felt like they could go forwards. And crucially, ADM picks up that kill on the Yusa, gets a nice shutdown, and that Swain's starting to look a lot more relevant.
And I feel like if they'd just given up the kills on Yusa and Hado, it would have been okay, but instead they invest a lot. Kerberos goes in as well, and because of that, they need to commit at that point in time, right? And they still have the tempo, they still have a sizable lead, but these are the kind of moments that you're looking for as Phelan, because if you can find 1 or 2 more of these, if you can get some farm on top of a Chew, if you can get some levels, then they can still turn this game around.
Yeah, has hit that Blade of the Ruined King. Again, that 2-item spike is a big one for Vayne. 2 items, you can pick up Stopwatch on top of that, and then you are really good to go for team fights. But Diabolus still very much in control. 4k gold up, they're going to move into Phelan's jungle and take this blue. But with the Dragon having been taken, all 3 outer turrets down, that's a lot of burst.
That's a lot of burst, yeah. I don't even have the time. As Snuggly gets absolutely demolished there, as we see a nice animation from Croxon showing what he just did. Achu gets stacked by the Chilling Smite, but the Condemn is going to make the end of that. Scattered Weak just barely misses, and he gets out with his life. But this is the threat that we're talking about from the Sin, that level 11 now, 2 points in that Unleashed Power.
And Snuggly just felt confident on the Braum. You don't feel like he's that easy to pick. But crucially, the stun stopped him from getting the Unbreakable up, took too much damage and went down, and now they're looking to push that second tower in the mid lane.
ADM can take a lot of damage, but I'm not sure if he can take this much. Achu still level 8 here, gets hit by the Scatter of the Weak, and that's going to be the end of the turret. Snuggly tries to delay the inevitable, but in the end, they will be able to pick up another turret here. The inner mid goes down, and Diabolus, after a short stumble there, still very much in control of this game. And let's not forget, Phelan, they need this win so desperately, while Diabolus, no pressure on them.
Absolutely, but they will go for this win regardless. And the fact that I thought the game would slow down somewhat with the fact that they got those 3 out of towers, but they push in again inner pretty much uncontested. Phelan are able to pick up a tower on the bot side though, so they are taking something back in return. But again, they need a lot more time to scale up. Achu still on that 1 item where you can see Yusa picked up Blade of the King and that Black Cleaver, so putting out so much damage, and the CDR coming in huge as well.
In terms of jungle lecture though, Soft Rider hasn't really been able to find that much besides the plays that we saw earlier, but he has been able to stay pretty far, right, rather increase his farm lead over Monkeys, and in that way I think that Kha'Zix, especially once he hits that second point, once he gets a W evolve as well, is going to remain scary, while Monkeys kind of already has hit his peak as a player within the composition of Diabolus, and I feel like they do need to upkeep the tempo. We're approaching 20 minutes. Diabolus still in control, but as you say, the scary scaling of Phelan is always a threat for them.
I mean, the Monk is still going to be relevant for his ult for a time, but he does fall off absolutely, especially against a team comp like Phelan's. So you have to question, yes, Diabolus are very much in control. They're 5k gold up right now, but for how long is that going to be relevant? They need to keep the tempo going, they need to keep the pressure, and they're doing a good job so far. They're getting a lot of vision control in this topside area, ready for when the Baron spawns in a minute. Phelan are playing reserve. They're not wanting to give anything away as of yet.
And ADM can tank a lot before people. Might be a little bit much. He's going to go for the tower defense, it looks like, for a little bit. Soft also coming in, and they do need to respect it. Hado takes a lot of damage, and that is the one person that is kind of hard to heal as Snuggly makes his way. We see Kerberos and Arrogant both have the teleport unavailable, so it will be straight up 4v4. There is the rune on Croxon. A lot of damage coming through. Beautiful Scatter of the Weak, but no real follow-up. There comes the damage, but ADM is incredibly tanky, and just to make sure that he doesn't get taken down regardless, also uses his Zhonya's Hourglass just to stay alive here, and the turret, as of yet, still stands.
Yeah, so good defense there. They try to go aggressive on Croxon a bit, but that ult, such a dissuader. But now he's low on mana. Soft might be looking for something here.
Achu goes in, beautiful flash, and the Glacial Fissure, but Croxon is still alive, has no mana available though, and there's the first kill for Achu. Beautiful flank coming in from ADM, and all of a sudden Phelan are looking to turn this game around, because if there's one person who you can't give a shutdown to, it's Achu.
Yeah, absolutely. The Vayne comes in strong there, gets a shutdown, in a great position to start to get back in this game and farm up. I mean, if she picks up more farm and that shutdown, that's well on the way to getting that 2-item spike, which is the big one we talked about. And I think just a lack of respect from Diabolus. Croxon had no mana. Monk is backed off. It was just a complete overstay, and I feel like this has been the story of Diabolus so far this game. Yes, they've been ahead consistently, but disrespect has been what has caught them from behind, and now, when you're looking at the composition of Phelan, a few more disrespects, and this might go towards them.
And because it was exactly the same with the bot lane play, where they just, you know, Yusa and Hado were so far ahead. We can just take this turret, even without the vision, and they get punished appropriately. Same thing happens here. Croxon has already basically used his entire burst combo, didn't kill ADM, and then they still decide to keep him there, even though he has no mana. They still try and go for that turret. And again, yes, Diabolus are going to be able to pick up this mountain relatively uncontested here, but it's this Baron that I'm afraid of, because with how Phelan has been playing thus far, every time the Diabolus don't go for a clean play, they get punished. And this Baron is instrumental, because I don't know if they're going to be able to break open the base against Phelan without it.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's going to be so difficult to take, because they do have the added sustain of Soraka, which is great, but they have a full damage Rek'Sai, not the greatest to tank that objective. And if you get trapped in the pit against a composition like Phelan's, you are going to be so vulnerable. So I feel like they have to be really careful with starting this one. They need to look for picks before it, but right now, Phelan have been the one who'll be getting plays. They're ahead in kills this game, despite still being about 4.5k gold behind. But Diabolus, they're trying to get control of this topside jungle again. Potentially looking for a pick. ADM has to be careful.
A pick on ADM would be a perfect way. There is the knock-up with the flash on Burrower, and that is one of the tankiest and most important members on Phelan getting taken down. And we want to see them go for that Baron, and this might be the opening that they were looking for.
Could be a bit risky if Phelan come to contest, but they're heading over. They have a Mountain Dragon to help along.
Because without that, as you said, I don't think they're going to do it very quickly. Phelan is fully aware that this is happening, and now the question is, can Diabolus actually pull this off? It looks like they will be going for it, as we see them not clear that wood, so it's not only that they are aware that they're doing it, but they get the complete health total as well. Snuggly, this time he doesn't get hit by Scatter the Weak. Soft is moving in, and the hard engage is coming through. Amonkus goes for the tunnel, but doesn't find anyone. Soft caught in the Cataclysm, and that's not the place that you want to be, but Kerberos needs to be careful as he gets condemned to the wall. Iragon gets taken low as well, and in the end, no one really dies. ADM is making his way back towards the pit, but Diabolus decide, enough of this, we're not going to take it.
Yeah, perfect situation for Phelan. They stopped the Baron play. They managed to shut everything down. They're completely happy with that happening. Things get slowed down a bit, and Diabolus have to take stock of the game again. They got that kill on ADM, which was great, but they didn't get anything more after that. And he's now building towards that Zhonya's, which would make it a lot harder to find him as that pick target.
Snuggly, again, he keeps getting caught out in these positions. This time out, he does not die, is able to get away with his life, but that is another target being taken low. Last time, ADM provided an opening, and now it might be Snuggly and Achu, who are very, very far forward here. Kerberos does have the teleport available now, as we see Achu go for some ward clearing here. The pings do go down, and I would like to see him back off, which he does. And as we said, it's on to Diabolus to take this Baron, because if they do, they can break open the base, but they need to be so, so careful.
Yeah, because bad Baron play could end up going really in the wrong direction, and they are going to start it up. Croxon is waiting. He isn't anymore. They've actually just completely turned onto it, so all of them hitting it. This might not be enough time for Phelan to get there. Soft is coming.
It's already getting low. Croxon is looking for the disengage, trying to make sure that they don't go on top of them. Hado gets tagged there by the concussive blow, but Kerberos with a beautiful teleport comes in out of nowhere, hits the flag and drag, and Croxon, yes, he does get taken down, but Yusa's still alive, and he's incredibly strong. Iragon is in World's Ender, but I don't think he's going to stay alive for much longer as Kerberos makes his way downtown. There is the Cataclysm, and Snuggly gets taken down as well. Stays alive for a lot longer than I thought he would. And there is the calling. Achu gets blown up as well, and Diabolus are finally able to find a fight that they've been looking for quite a while now, and the Baron is open.
Yeah, the only person alive is Iragon, and have to go back to base and heal. He will not be able to contest this. Baron goes over to Diabolus, and they are back in control of this game. And crucially, the thing that came in huge is they lost so much HP on that Baron, but the Soraka was able to heal them back up on the back end of it. And Hado still has his ultimate, didn't even need to use it in that skirmish.
And with the Baron going over to Diabolus, it might spell doom for Phelan. Thus far, they've been able to keep their base relatively unscathed, but now with the added pushing powers, we see a beautiful network of tunnels there created by monkeys around that Baron pit. Things are looking dire. It looked like they were able to turn it around, but now Phelan on the back foot. They need this win more than ever. They need to hold on, but are they going to be able to?
It's a hard ask. They still have the scaling potential, but Achu, he's not yet hit that Triton point, and we see Yusa, Lady of the King, Essence Reaver, and Black Cleaver, and a stopwatch. The difference is huge, and yes, Vayne scales, but you need to get to the late game, And it is up to Diabolus now to break the base with this Baron and make things happen.
There's not even a rage blade yet on Vayne at 25 minutes. That's how well Diabolus have been able to keep Phelan on the back foot here for the entirety of this game. See Croxon make his way towards the bot lane. Looks like they're going to be setting up a 1-3-1 now, but if Soth gets caught out, it might go a whole lot faster. He gets blown up in a second as Yusa picks up that kill, and the pressure that was already going to be hard for Phelan to deal with is now going to get only harder, because I don't know how they're going to clear these waves of Baron minions.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, especially when one of your big kill pressures is down. Tower goes down, and now Aragon will revive, but he's very low.
With the World's Ender and Snuggly, he might be able to just get out, but he's taken down so low, and that's not an ultimate you want to use to just stay alive. It's an ultimate you want to use to put out some threat. And it looks like Diabolus, they're going to break open the base here. A huge wave of Baron minions as the first inhibitor gets picked up rather. And Phelan, they need to stay alive here, but with the pressure coming out from Diabolus, it's looking dire and worse by the minute. We see the bot lane turret goes down here, taken down by Croxon, who now makes his way towards the mid lane as they go for the A-Ram. 5-man mid. They're incredibly strong, and Phelan needs to find a miracle to make this work. They go in. Aragon does not have the World Ender available and needs to be careful. Chu goes in really aggressively. Snuggly tries to keep him alive, and this is the opportunity they were looking for. Kerberos can disengage. And at least for now,
this
they're going to be able to.
The engage should not be coming from the Vayne, and Chu goes forward but isn't able to find anything, and Diabolus are able to put the pressure back on, and with that ult down from the Vayne, there is no real threat from this Phelan composition.
No final eye for you, Chu. No stealth available, and all of a sudden the threats on Diabolus are way more scary. Monkeys gets taken out a little bit low, but he's not scared. He has a huge wave of Baron minions, and more importantly, Hado, who is going to be able to keep him up. There is the redemption coming through, and then the rest of the heals make sure that all of a sudden Diabolus is fully held up again. We see the top lane Rada is already pushing. The mid lane inhibitor goes down, the bot lane inhibitor is down, and Phelan needs to find a miracle to stay alive here to avoid those relegations as Diabolus looks to be pushing through here for the win. We see the silence come through, and Snuggly is already so incredibly low here. Diabolus haven't found any of the turrets yet as Aragon tries to go in, wants to go for the knockup. World Ender is available again as Kerberos tanks a lot of damage, and there goes Aragon. The Resurrect comes through, but look at these cannon minions.
It just feels like there's no life left with Phelan. They're trying to defend, but Diabolus are pushing them down.
And there is the Cataclysm, and that might very well be the end of the game. The Nexus is open, and that is going to be it here for Phelan's hopes of escaping relegations, as we see Diabolus with a dominating performance, making it through and taking down the Nexus of Phelan.
Yeah, Monkeys will go down, but the minions are doing enough, and they will be taking out Diabolus, showing that they did get upset earlier, but they're here to stay.
Once, but not again. And Phelan, it looked so good there in the early to mid game, but in the end, the pressure was too much.
Yeah, I think they just fell behind. They fell more behind, and they had some bits of life, but it just wasn't enough. Hi guys, how's it going?
Pretty good game actually. You've had two really good games at the end of
yeah, I was very lucky. Thanks, Jake.
How you feeling about that? You all good? Excited? You ready to get going with this bad boy?
Yeah.
Well, let's have a little look at our MVP coming out of that last game as well. I haven't been told who it is. Who is it? I didn't hear who that was.
I didn't hear who it was.
I didn't hear it. Just bring it up. We'll talk about it. There we go. Kerberos gets himself MVP. 85% killed participation. This man looked really, really good last game.
Found the solo kill, was constantly there in the team fights, found the opportunity, so credit to him.
That teleport at the Baron when he was able to teleport the ward, flag and drag the entire team.
Three-man combo was huge, absolutely.
I mean, Kerb was, every time I was kind of running around the back most of that last game, just kind of getting myself ready for this. And every time I looked at the screen, Kerb was just like 1v3, just punching people. I was like, he's not even in danger. He's fine. He's quite comfortable there. Yeah. He's just standard Kerberos stuff,
He
really.
throws down the Cataclysm and he says, welcome to the arena. And the others couldn't stand up to him. But yeah, so we do have the ladder scoreboard.
Yeah, let's bring up the scoreboard before we get into our draw show, see where everyone is standing coming out of day 1 of week 7 here at the UKLC. And obviously Diabolus will remain at the top. And with that win as well, I believe that puts him on to 20 points. It does, as XL has 16 points, Fnatic rising on 15. And M&M now hot on their tail with 13 points. So M&M, they're still not in a place where they are locked for 4th. They could potentially take 3rd. They could even potentially take 2nd if they have a miracle run and take XL out of the tower, I believe. That is the only way they can make 2nd.
Yep.
But there's still a lot to play for these top 4 teams. And with that as well, we've got, I believe, Enclave
No, it's
No,
Bulldogs.
it's Bulldogs. Sorry, it's Bulldogs.
Bulldogs are trying to make the miracle run to avoid relegation. They need one more point.
Just
one more point.
One win.
That's a big upset they're looking for. They've got
they are
I mean, XL, M&M.
Well, so
no, sorry, not XL.
M&M, Diabolus. No,
well,
yeah,
if that is the miracle run, they will take on
M&M,
XL.
Diabolus, or Fnatic.
Yeah.
They
How
need to
good
beat
did
one
they
of them.
look today?
They looked a lot better, but it's a big ask.
I mean, they've been looking better for the last couple of days, actually. Like last week as well, they had that incredible game versus XL where, unfortunately, they lost, but it was close. It was, I mean, they got a 10k gold lead. They completely smashed XL in the early game. But, you know, let's chill. Let's not talk about this anymore. Let's talk about this. This is our draw show. For those of you who are maybe new here at the UKLC, after the first day, after our round of 8, we have a draw show to see who's facing up against who. So, Orcs, I'll let you have the honors. This will be blue side for game 1 in tomorrow's games. There we go. Chronicler, you can take blue side for game 2.
I was getting worried.
Diabolus.
All right, so blue side for game 1 tomorrow will be Diabolus. This will not be their opponent. The next draw is going to be for blue side for game 2. Chronicler.
Thank you for the honors, Jake.
That's okay. Look at this. Look at this technique. You don't have this.
He has his eyes open though.
Yeah,
so.
but he's like
close the eyes.
He's like jabbing. He's getting them. He's like fully Beyblading those.
You want the energy.
Yeah. All right. So M&M will be on blue side for game 2. Now you're part of the UK team. We're just lobbing stuff around.
Throw it around.
You can pick Tibbers up and throw him later.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that's the one we're going for.
Wait, this fell open. I'll reshuffle.
Okay.
He got his eyes closed.
I mean, I'm not looking. So.
He's not looking. Yeah, we're good. I wonder if anyone else saw who that was. Oh, there we go.
It is Bulldogs.
All right, so Bulldogs versus Diabolus will be our first game. And we were talking, they need a miracle run. This is a hard one. Don't take this from Chronicler.
You can have it.
You really want it, don't you?
I love the last one because then you just like, woo, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Oh, what a surprise. It's Fnatic Rising.
Fnatic Rising versus M&M will be our second game of tomorrow. And then we have ourselves game 3, which will be the finals for our main round. And then we'll have the Tower Champion. And then after the Tower Challenge, we'll have our rematch, depending on whether or not the Tower Challenge XL, Tower Champion, sorry, are able to hold versus whoever they're playing.
Yes.
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 You agree?
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah.
Well, if you guys had a great day here at the UKLC, like we did here, your wonderful casters, you can head over to the Twitter at LVPUK and let us know how you enjoyed your games. And also, after the show, we're going to have ourselves the MVP vote. So, Unsung Hero, you guys at home will have the option between 4 players from today's games, and you will get a vote to see who you guys believe was your Unsung Hero. Who is your Unsung Hero?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
You have to think
Not a
about
very
it.
satisfying answer, is it?
The first thing that popped into my head was, say me, say I'm the unsung
I
hero.
feel like I'm getting yelled at by the producer saying I'm the unsung hero, dude. You did a great job with that split screen, mate. I'm really proud of you. Everyone, can we just give a clap? We've had 2 really good split screens from Borj, so what a mate.
We didn't miss a kill today.
We didn't miss a kill today,
Harry
so
is still going hard for the bet. So if you missed what we said earlier, is basically if Harry doesn't miss a kill for today, tomorrow, and the weekend, I will give him £30.
And I said I'll give him 10 quid if he doesn't miss the setup for any of those kills as well. So 40 quid up for grabs, which is pretty good for him. Let's take a little look at our bracket for tomorrow's games and where we're standing. Obviously, Fnatic Rising took out Barrage, M&M took down Darkspawn. We have Bulldogs beat out Enclave and Diabolus beat out Phelan, leaving us with tomorrow's games, which will be starting with Diabolus versus Bulldogs and then M&M versus Fnatic Rising. The winners of those will go through into the finals, and then the winner of that final will go into the Tower Challenge and potentially have to play 2 games versus XL.
I want to see Bulldogs take it. I love an underdog story.
What a miracle end for Bulldogs if they could like climb all the way up, beat XL off the tower and be like, we are top dog here in the UK. Like that would be such a great way to end this whole tournament.
It kind of makes me sad though that they wouldn't, imagine if they did that but then they're just not able to make playoffs.
Yeah, well I mean it's like they wouldn't be in relegations. There's a chance they actually would have caught up with Enclave at that point and then would look at like implications towards future champions, so.
I mean, it's definitely good, like, but you know, Bulldogs, you have to make that miracle run for us.
Please do.
It's going to be a hard one, but if you guys want to watch any of Bulldogs' previous games or any of your other teams here at the UKLC, you can head over to the YouTube channel LVP UK and catch up on all of the previous VODs. I mean, we've had a great week so far. We're only 1 day in. We've had 5 games. We've got potentially another 5 more games tomorrow. And then we got the weekend of finals. There's so much action here at the UKC.
It's going to be a busy day.
It's going to be a busy day, busy week, mate. Yeah, we're going to be pooped by Sunday.
I'm just going to sleep here.
You're just going to sleep
yeah,
here.
sort of a little nest in the corner.
Tibbers is already having a little nap. Let's get rid of our fruit bowl. I don't want this anymore. There we go.
I love the beefy sound as you just chuck it in the corner.
I didn't realize a lot of lights and stuff, and like the set.
It
looks very well put together. But after Orcs lobbed a scoreboard at a wall earlier last week. The whole set shook, and now I'm a little bit nervous about actually yeeting stuff into walls here because I bet they're just going to fall over.
We'll do that for playoffs. You know, obviously after playoffs, it doesn't matter. We actually have permission to trash the entire studio, so we'll look forward to that on the end of the playoff stream.
All right, well, maybe we won't trash the studio because I want to keep my job. So thank you very much for joining us here at the UKLC. We'll be back same time tomorrow with even more League of Legends action. Until then, see you later.